Hey guys, welcome back. First of all, I just want to say sorry. I know I missed yesterday and yeah, the last video was kind of short too. I was just not feeling great, honestly. But I'm good now, feeling way better today. And actually, it's kind of perfect timing because the stuff coming up next week is a lot. Like, genuinely a lot. We're talking big emotional scenes, proper confrontations, and yeah, a return that people have been waiting years for. Not even exaggerating. So, yeah, if you're into all the EastEnders drama, just hit subscribe, drop a like. It really does help more than you think. All right, let's just get into it. I'm not going to lie, it's heavy. So, Denise. This whole storyline is actually really sad when you think about it. Because for weeks now, she's been dealing with this completely on her own. And it's not something small. She's been diagnosed with leukemia. And instead of telling people, like Jack, her family, she's just shutting down. Avoiding calls, ignoring the hospital, acting like if she doesn't deal with it, it somehow won't be real. And it's frustrating to watch. But at the same time, it feels very real. Like people do that. Jack can tell something's wrong, obviously. He's trying to get through to her, but she just keeps putting up this wall. And you can see it's getting worse.
Spoiler 1. Libby Fox returns as Mum Denise discloses her blood cancer diagnosis. Let's start with the absolute emotional core of next week's episodes. And this is a storyline that is going to have everyone reaching for the tissues. For weeks now, we've watched in heartbreak as Denise Fox has been carrying the most devastating secret. She has been diagnosed with an aggressive form of leukemia, but instead of leaning on the people who love her, she has been completely frozen by fear and denial. She's been dodging phone calls from Wolford General, putting her head in the sand, and insisting to herself that she'll deal with it in her own time. But as we all know, with an illness this serious, time is the one thing she doesn't have. Thankfully, Jack Branning is sick with worry. He can see Denise slipping away under the weight of whatever she's hiding. In a desperate bid to help her, Jack actually opens up to Phil Mitchell. Now, Phil and Jack aren't exactly best mates, but when it comes to family crises, they can put their differences aside. The two men start putting their heads together, trying to figure out how on earth they can make a breakthrough with Denise before it's too late.
But while everyone is laughing and raising a glass, Chelsea can't help noticing that her mum is completely miles away. Denise is zoned out, barely smiling, just masking this immense pain. And things go from bad to worse for Denise when Phil Mitchell turns up. Phil doesn't exactly do subtlety, and he makes it crystal clear to Denise that he knows exactly what's going on. He knows about the leukemia. Denise is absolutely furious. She is blinded by anger that her secret has spread, and despite Phil genuinely trying to offer his support and help, she completely loses her temper and orders him to get out. That evening, the engagement celebrations at the Vic take a massive emotional turn. Jack and Phil both arrive at the pub, and Denise is absolutely terrified that one of them is going to blurt out the truth in front of everyone. She's struggling to keep her composure, her hands are shaking, and when Kim stands up to give a beautiful, heartfelt speech about family and the future, it all becomes too much. The guilt, the fear, the sheer weight of the diagnosis crushes Denise. She flees to the pub toilets in floods of tears, with Chelsea running right after her.
Initially, even in the toilets, Denise tries to put up a wall. She refuses to confide in her daughter. But the breaking point has officially arrived. Denise realises she can't fight this alone anymore. She goes back out into the pub, gathers her family, and finally, through the tears, she shares the devastating news that she has blood cancer. The entire pub just goes dead silent. The shockwaves through the family are instant. Kim is absolutely stunned, especially when she discovers that Yolandi Truman actually already knew what was going on. Once the truth is out, Denise heads home, trying to steady her nerves. She finally finds the courage to make that dreaded call back to the hospital, the one she's been avoiding for days. With the reality sinking in that Denise is going to have to spend the next month locked away on a hospital ward to undergo intensive treatment, the family vows to stand completely united. They promise to keep the household together while she focuses entirely on fighting for her life. Jack, feeling the strain, also reaches out to his brother Max Branning for some much-needed support.
Spoiler 2. Chelsea Fox meets up with Gray Atkins' grandmother, Sheila. Moving on to our second spoiler, and this ties right back into Libby's return and the ongoing anxiety surrounding little Jordan. Chelsea drops a bit of a bombshell to Libby, revealing that Gray Atkins' grandmother, Sheila, has actually been secretly sending cheques through the post to help out with Jordan's ongoing medical care. However, Chelsea admits that out of pride, anger and the sheer trauma of what Gray did, she has never cashed a single one of them. She's just been letting them pile up. Libby, however, is looking at the bigger picture. She sees how stressed Chelsea is and she knows Jordan needs all the help he can get. So without telling her sister, Libby secretly attempts to make contact with Sheila behind Chelsea's back. Later on, while the family's at the Vic, Libby gets a text from Sheila. She tries to hide her phone and keep it under wraps, but Chelsea catches her red-handed. As you can imagine, tensions absolutely flare. Chelsea feels completely betrayed that Libby is meddling in her life and behind her back with Gray's family. Later on, a stressed-out Chelsea confides in Eve Unwin about her deep, dark worries for Jordan's future, especially following his intense spinal surgery.
Spoiler 3. Ian Beale drops Johnny Carter's legal representation. Over with the Beales now, and Ian is under an immense amount of pressure. Kathy is doing her absolute best to prop her son up and support him as the stress continues to mount following Jordan's terrible accident. Ian, being typical Ian, is completely convinced that his entire life, his reputation and his future are hinging on every single minor legal decision made over the coming days. He completely loses his patience with Johnny Carter, who has been handling the legal representation. Ian gets it into his head that Johnny isn't taking the case seriously enough, accusing him of a complete lack of commitment and drive. In a classic rash Ian Beale move, he abruptly dismisses Johnny, firing him on the spot. Determined not to leave his fate to chance, Ian frantically begins searching for a new, high-powered lawyer. But top-tier legal representation doesn't come cheap. With the stakes higher than they have ever been, Ian turns to his poor mum, Kathy, begging her for massive financial help so he can secure the services of one of the leading solicitors in the country. Will Kathy put her hand in her pocket to save Ian from himself once again? Or is Ian fighting a losing battle?
Spoiler 4. Bea Pollard begins to meddle again. Next up, let's talk about Honey and Billy Mitchell. Honey is finally feeling well enough to enjoy some genuine quality time with her husband. She's taken a lot of comfort from the fact that Bea Pollard has officially packed up and moved in with Big Mo Harris, meaning the house is a bit quieter and things are finally calming down on the surface. But as we know in Soapland, when things look calm on the surface, there is usually trouble brewing underneath. Honey and Billy head out on a lovely romantic date together to reconnect. Afterwards, a chuffed Billy is chatting with Alfie Moon, happily discussing how brilliant the date went and how much he loves his wife. Unbeknownst to them, Bea is lurking nearby and overhears every single word of the conversation. Spotting an immediate opportunity to stir up a bit of mischief, Bea wastes absolutely no time in stepping in. She later approaches Honey and subtly invites her out for a drink, clearly planning to get into her head and cause some serious underlying tension between the married couple.
Spoiler 5. Vinny Panesar moves in with Penny Branning, and things are getting incredibly messy here. The pair attend a birth plan appointment together,
which you would think would be a beautiful bonding moment for a couple preparing for a future. But instead of bringing them closer together, the whole appointment leaves Vinny feeling incredibly pushed to the sidelines, isolated and unvalued. And the tragic thing is, we know why there's an awkward wall between them. Penny is still completely hiding the massive ticking time bomb fact that Harry Mitchell is very likely to be the actual biological father of the baby. The guilt and the secret are making her distant, and Vinny can feel it. Determined to be heard and to stake his claim on his family, Vinny decides to open up to Penny about his deep fears of being pushed out. He passionately reassures her that he's 100% committed to both her and their future child. And then, in a really bold, massive move to cement their relationship, Vinny looks her in the eye and asks her to officially move in with him. Penny is left completely stunned. How on earth can she move in and build a life with Vinny while carrying a secret that could completely destroy him if the truth about Harry comes out? It is a disaster waiting to happen.
And that is everything we have got coming up on EastEnders from Monday the 15th to Thursday the 18th of June. Wow, what a week. Denise finally telling the truth is going to be absolutely heartbreaking, but seeing Libby back in the square alongside Chelsea is going to be absolutely electric. What do you guys think? Are you happy to see Libby back after 9 years? Do you think Chelsea should have kept Sheila's money? And how long do you give it before Vinny finds out the truth about the baby? Let me know all your thoughts and theories in the comments section below. I love reading through them and replying to you all. And again, thank you so much for bearing with me while I was away. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss tomorrow's breakdown.